Nick O'Hearn and Mark Allen with some Talk Birdie To Me bonus content.
Well, everyone, we're going to do this from time to time on Talk Birdie To Me. It's a little bit of bonus content. We're going to try and keep the show the same, but we floated Wade Ormsby last week. He's 42 years old. He's a LIV player. He didn't get to play last week in Mexico, but we want to know what is on the cards for him in 2023 in LIV Golf. Welcome, Wade.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Absolute pleasure. How's Millbrook looking? I believe you just drove into the property.
Yeah, I just got here. It looks quite dry over here, but you guys, I'm sure you know what Queenstown's like. It's spectacular flying in here and beautiful day over here. Nice clear sky, so I'm really looking forward to this week.
Beautiful. One question, professional golfers, we fly all over the world, obviously. How many flights was it from Mexico, by the way? Because I believe you were there on site at Mayakoba, is that correct?
Yeah, so I've just done a Cancun, San Fran, then into Auckland and down here. So it was a long day of travel, but travelling west, as we all know, is easier than going east. So it's just early nights and early mornings, which is pretty good for a golfer. So shouldn't be too bad this week. So hopefully I can get straight into it tomorrow for a practice round. Then I've got to learn 2 golf courses, which is a bit tricky this week. So I played one of them. The other one's pretty new, I believe. And because of COVID, I haven't seen it. So I'll have to kind of get out there and have a walk around that and do a bit of practice and be ready to go Thursday.
Well, we got you on to talk about LIV Golf and your status on that circuit. It's a mystery to a lot of people still. Not so much for the top-end players who are, have signed 4-year deals and billions of dollars, but for other players on the circuit, we don't really understand what's going on so much, and we really appreciate you taking the time. So what's the deal? You didn't play in Mexico. Are you a chance to play in Adelaide?
The short answer is no. Basically, you have to wind back probably 12 months and when LIV really kicked off, there was a bunch of guys that were contracted, and those contracts, I guess, vary from different lengths and so on. And then there was some exemption categories for certain guys from around the world, and that's where I fell into that category. It was the top 2 players from certain tours around the world, and I was high up on the Asian Tour Order of Merit, and then that's how I got my gig out there. And the same way, I guess, Jed Morgan and Blake Windred from Australia and so on got their starts, and they had let's say an Order of Merit where if guys finish in the top 24 of the money list, they retain their status on the LIV Golf Tour or League for 2023, and that's how a lot of guys retain their status going forwards, and I didn't, so I was off. So it was pretty clean cut from my end. Irrespective, people said I got ditched and all that kind of stuff. I knew what the deal was, and that's fine. Yeah,
no, I completely understand. I've sort of read a little bit about how the exemptions continue on the top 24, as you say. Now, I guess the question I've got for you is I'm thinking Jed Morgan wasn't in that top 24 either. He would have been in the bottom half, and yet he replaced you in the Ripper team, which is, what was it called before? Punch, right?
Yeah, Punch, exactly right. Yeah, and there was a few guys in that situation where they had to, I guess the team captain and I guess the league had their choice of who they put in certain places, and I'm not privy to all of that, all those dealings, but Jed's got the nod, and that's great for Jed. He's a young player with plenty of game and had a good start, and first and foremost, I'd like to be in there, but I'm a competitor and I want to play golf on that league. It's fantastic out there. I had a great year last year, but I'm still intertwined in there now, and I'm still happy with where I sit in the whole thing. So every player's got their different, I guess, not agenda, I'd say more their circumstance of where they are in their career and family and age and all these different things that roll you into decisions with anything in life, whether you're a golfer or in any walks of life or work or whatever. You're kind of balancing up all these different decisions, and I'm really happy with where I am and play a lot of my golf in Europe and a little bit in Asia and a little bit in Oz, and that LIV's come along at a great time for me, and I thoroughly enjoyed my time out there.
So I had a quick look. I think you've won once in Europe, 3 times in Asia, an Asian Tour player.
Yeah.
How do you? Well, I just had a quick look at the LIV relegation promotion kind of details. It looks like the bottom 4 are in trouble. You've got 4 spots on offer every single year. What do you need to do? Is it as simple as finishing top 4 in the Asian Order of Merit and you get a job?
No, see, for those who follow golf closely, a lot of things have changed in the last 12 months, and as well as LIV Golf doing their stuff at the invitational level, which is this big like Super League, as we want to call it, or whatever it's called, LIV Golf League.
Yep.
Below that, I've got the International Series, which is a series of events, 10 of them this year, which has been set up in conjunction with the Asian Tour. So in those 10 events, they're going to have their own order of merit that sit in those 10 events. If you win that order of merit, those 10 events, you're automatically on the LIV Golf League next year. And then if you're between, let me get all these figures right, I think between 2 and 6, you get a bye through the first round of what theirs kind of be like their hybrid version of a tour school, but in one tournament. And then if you finish in the top 32 of the international series, and there's a lot of numbers here, but then you're going to get the ability to go into this quick one tournament tour school to try to qualify for LIV Golf next year. So there is a promotion and relegation kind of system set up into the biggest tour in the world and most lucrative tour in the world. So it's it's there. It's all laid out in front of people, and it's just quite a bit different to what we've always played with. You know, like you guys have been around longer than what I have. You know kind of how it's all laid out in front of us, and it's just completely different to try and get your head around. But man, that's what they're doing, and it's great for golf.
Yeah, it's something completely different. And obviously you've got the individual elements that you play for every event, and then you've got the team aspect where you're partnering along 3 other guys, so a 4-man team. I mean, you guys won the season-ending event, didn't you, in Doral?
Oh, we finished second. We finished second behind those 4 races. Exactly.
4 races. Oh, I thought you won for some reason. I don't know why. I was just celebrating quietly.
I wish we'd done.
Well,
I wish we did.
Hey, it's still good cash for finishing second in the team's event.
Yeah,
it was pretty
what was that worth?
Wasn't it? So, I think it was $8 million split between 4 players. So it was a lazy 2 each. So no, it was
and that's US dollars too. So that travels pretty well as well. So very impressive. So I mean,
that was nice,
I watched a bit of that final team event, and I probably found that probably the most intriguing. I mean, out of all the 8 tournaments that they had throughout the year. Did you guys sort of feel is this the way to go, more the team aspect, or do you quite like the individual nature of it as well?
I think they probably fiddled a little bit with it last year, trying to get the right type of concept, and they're probably the first ones to say last year they didn't have it right, and they're trying to move it a little bit with how many people counted each day and how they wanted to sit. But yeah, I think the team stuff is where the big difference is. You know, I went out and watched Cam and Jed, and I think the third player in the group was Jed Morgan, because I was over there as a reserve last week. And you're following around, I got the scoring up on my phone. I'm checking the team score more than the individual scores, and it's just amazing how we get sucked into looking. Well, not sucked in, how you just gravitate to looking at the team stuff, and it becomes this whole separate tournament within a tournament. It's kind of how we did in college or in university in America. We had 5 players and 4 guys counting each day. So you got to keep grinding away, because you don't want to let your team down and all that kind of stuff. Even if you get a terrible start, you can grind back and shoot one over, and that can be the third counting score and can really help the team out, because there's obviously a lot to play for as a team. And I think that's where it's really going to gather some legs and some momentum as all those teams really take shape and get a good following behind them.
Hey, Wade, in all walks of golf, no matter where it is, you hear all these myths and you don't know whether some are true. I've got 2 questions.
There's plenty of them out there at the moment.
Oh, there are stacks, but I've got 2 that I want to ask you. And they're things I heard and I just couldn't quite get my head around either of them to do with LIV Golf. So if you were a contracted player last year and you didn't get a game, did you then get the equivalent of last place money and you didn't actually play? Is that right?
Absolutely not. Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, good. There's one. So I was told. Okay. Did you hear that one?
I heard that as well, but I wasn't sure.
It didn't sound right to me. I mean, imagine like if there was 15 players who weren't playing and they all got 15 last place checks.
There was nowhere near that many people contracted, so that's not possible. Otherwise, they would have booted people out like me and they would have put them in.
What's last place, by the way? Is that 280,000 was it?
No, it's 120 US.
120. And Mythbuster number 2, I believe some of the players, now when I say I believe, I've heard some of the players who signed, let's say, $10 million a year for 4 years, that was guaranteed money, and the prize money didn't count until they won over $10 million. Is that accurate or not accurate?
I think that myth has been busted already, but it doesn't involve me, so I don't know, and I'm not privy to looking at their contracts. So
no, you don't think so?
That's correct, but yeah, I don't think that's correct.
So everyone's playing for prize money regardless of their contract?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think AK, put that to bed last year, I think, when that come up in the media. But no, it's all very transparent. There's obviously a lot of stuff going around from the other side of the fence at the moment, and we don't need to turn into that. But that's LIV are doing their thing. They've got a great product, and they're doing that. And obviously it's disrupting a lot in golf at the moment, but it's making it better. And what better time to be involved in professional golf? So I'm very fortunate to be playing still, and really enjoying my golf at the moment. So hopefully get some of the best stuff ahead of me.
You were one of 3 alternates, I believe, in Mexico there.
Yeah,
so is that something
right.
that's going to happen going forward for yourself? Do you just sit on the bench and wait for a call up, or how does that all work?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just working through that now with them. It's all happened pretty quickly this year for them. So hopefully I'm So you're just a one of 3, and I think each, so I just kind of go from there. So I'll travel to most events, be a lot of air miles this year, but I'll definitely take it.
Sorry, there's a bit of laughter in the back, Rio, because we both know I'm going to ask another cash question. So I apologise.
You're not going to get a straight answer.
You got it before me, Mark.
If you're third alternate and don't get a game, are you looked after cash-wise would be another question I think a lot of people would like to know. You don't have to tell us the number, but are you looked after?
Yeah, no, everything's fine. I wouldn't be doing it. I've got a young family at home, so no, everything you got to work out how it works best for you. But obviously they cover our expenses and make it worth their while. So no, it's good. It works out the best for the team for the league this year. So that's what I'm doing. So it's good. It's really good. So looking forward to it. Traveled some great places, and Cancun last week. If you ever get a chance to go down to Mayakoba, but that place was unreal.
Yeah.
I don't think I've been to a resort like that in my life.
I've been to both. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I played the
fantastic down
played
there.
the PGA Tour event there. There's some pretty smelly holes on that golf course for sure if you don't hit it straight.
You don't want to have the wide ball in the golf bag. I was a little bit upset that I didn't get to play that one, because I'm genuinely hitting the ball straight and scrambling the two areas of my game, which I'm always towards the top in the stats, and it would have been a good week to be out there. But anyway, that's the way it goes.
Yeah, if you look at the past champions and also the winner, Charles Howell III, Chucky Three Sticks. Yeah. I mean, he's a flushing machine off the tee. But other winners have been like Brian Gay and those style players. Graham McDowell. Yep, exactly. So that's
Brandon Grace was a pick of mine last week. I think he finished second or third. Ortiz, all the guys that kind of hit it like that to keep the ball down. It's pretty obvious what type of style of play that kind of suited last week, but it's a beautiful spot.
Tell me this. You said a second ago you're not getting into Adelaide. I just can't believe that. You're a South Australian.
I know.
Greg Norman won his first ever tournament there. He knows how much it would be. The joint's been sold out.
Too.
It's been sold out. What? It took a couple of hours for tickets to be sold out or something ridiculous. Surely the Shark can get you into the tournament.
Would be nice. Anyway, I've pleaded my case, but hopefully there's an injury travelling all the way from America with some of those boys. They don't travel well.
Nick, can you make a phone call to Greg, please, and just see if you can organise Wade a game at the Grange?
Yeah, I don't think he's on my contact list. But that's it. But make sure at least at worst case you're an alternate, because I'm sure someone will get food poisoning, or maybe there'll be something slipped in there. Who knows?
might be self-induced, might be induced by me. But anyway, I look forward to it. It's going to be great down there. I'll be playing all the practice rounds, get myself ready. So you never know. So let's wait and see.
One question I have got for you, Wade, is do you need, in these sorts of occasions, we're talking to you now like an interview style, do you need to get permission from LIV for that sort of thing?
Absolutely not. And if I do, I'm probably in trouble now. But absolutely not. We're all free contractors, and they want this in golf. They want us to play everywhere. So there's no issue doing all this kind of stuff, and it's just all for golf, really. The more the better. Good
on you, Wade. Hey, good luck at Millbrook, the New Zealand Open. We'd love to see you holding up the trophy at the end of the week.
Me too.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Wade.
Thanks, Nick. Thanks, Mark. Nice speaking to you. See you, boys. Bye-bye.
Pleasure. Wade Ormsby, not a bad word has ever been said about that boy. No. He's one of the stars. Well, that's our bonus content for this week's Talk Birdie To Me. We'll catch you next time.
From the Australian Golf Centre, home of the PGA of Australia and Golf Australia, this has been a bonus episode of Talk Birdie To Me with Nick O'Hearn and Mark Allen. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram and TikTok. And if you can share the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen, that'd be awesome. Talk Birdie To Me's executive producer is Dan Bradley at Kaizen Media. Sound design by Daryl Misson at loudzebra.com.